All right, and we are back again. And just when you thought there was two, there are three. What is up, Miss O'Malley?
Hey.
All right, so we are all here, both mentally, verbally, and visually. So for your enjoyment, so let's kick this off with a little NFL talk. As we saw, the NFL regular season kicked off Week 14 this week. You go from that?
Yeah.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Hopefully the lady ain't crazy.
All right. Sorry. Well, say. But yeah, so week 14 NFL action had some good games to it. I'll be honest. Not just today. Thursday night game was good as well because, call me a hater, call me what you want. But anytime the Dallas Cowboys lose, it's a good thing. So they lost to the Detroit Lions. Say 40 to friggin' 20, 40 to 30, 44 to 30, showing that, and I'm sorry, and you guys can take it from here and tell me what you think, but the biggest mistake that Dallas has made outside of giving Dak Prescott $60 million a year was trading Michael Parsons.
I disagree.
All right, let me know.
So they got a couple of draft picks. They'll be low first rounders, but you expect them to be starters for this defense. The defense, even with Micah, it reminds me of the Raiders when they had Khalil Mack and Gruden traded Khalil Mack and everybody kind of lost their minds. And he said, hey, they were the, bottom third ranked defense with Khalil Mack. How worse can it get? So why not get a couple of draft picks and see if you can improve the team if you hit on those draft picks? The offense, we knew they'd be good. Dak is one of the perennially top quarterbacks in the league during the regular season. He needs a full team to actually compete in the playoffs, and the defense needs help. Instead of paying one guy who's going to get you 15 some odd sacks or so a year and still be ranked bottom third, to saving that money, putting it elsewhere, being able to bring in a couple of extra free agents and get draft picks, although late first rounders, I think that's the smart move. Although it looked like Dallas was going to try to keep Parsons, and it's all kind of unraveled late. So they were obviously chips in because Jerry Jones hates to let go of talent more often than not. But in the end, this was a good move for the franchise as they have increased their draft assets, their draft capital, and we'll have to see what they do. They got to hit in the draft for it to work. But if they can give Dak a top 10, top 5 defense, he has a chance to get them one bowl before he hangs up his cleats.
All right, O'Malley.
What can I even say here? I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say. He's already said it all. I mean, he's not wrong. God, I hate when you let him go first.
All right, go ahead.
No, I mean that he said everything perfectly. I mean,
well, for me, I would push back only in this way. Only in this way. And this is only to one part of your statement. Dak has had a team before. Dak has had the best defense in the league going into the playoffs and still managed to lose in his first game. So I don't know about having a team around Dak being the key factor to him winning a Super Bowl for them. I don't know what happens to Dak. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when it comes to him during the regular season and then during the playoffs.
I mean, the playoffs are always a different animal. I mean, They say defense wins championships, but you need a competent offense, and Dak can supply the offense. But when the team is 100% based on Dak performing at a high level, you're not guaranteed, and no quarterback is guaranteed to do that. And more so to your point, the Niners don't have the run they have now without solid defensive play behind every quarterback that has helped them get to where they've gotten to.
Oh yeah, that's any quarterback. Like, there's not a single. Joe Montana needed one of the best defenses in the league.
Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre.
Rodgers, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that have one shot the league for their one title.
But that's what I'm saying. Is Dak Prescott has led a top 3 offense and like a top 5 defense into the playoffs and still lost in his first matchup.
It happened. You got to
And
consistently have a top defense. Where the difference between them and say the Niners have been consistently top 15, top 10 outside of the 1 year with a gajillion injuries or 2 years with an amount of injuries. But when you look at other all-time greats like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, they only have 1 Super Bowl win, and those wins are sandwiched between not only having capable offense but having a top defense.
Oh yeah, no disagreement with you there. Like I said, my point is just Dak Prescott. Like I think Dak Prescott is this generation's Tony Romo. Everybody kept talking about how Tony had the talent to get Dallas to a Super Bowl, but Tony never once did it. And so
no defense. He only had 1 top defense, and then it was the messed up the field goal, I believe, that got muffed. That was him. He was holding the ball, so that's on him.
That was on him directly against Seattle.
I mean, those kind of things, those fluky things happen.
I can't say that because I can see where you're coming from, but my angle is just a little bit different because I remember Dallas having good defenses, like even during the Romo years. Like I don't remember Dallas having a defense outside of the top 15 during his entire run, and kind of similar with that.
He only had 1.
What? No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm pretty sure he had more than 1 that was top 15. Maybe
top 15.
Like because Dallas's defenses were consistently in that middle of the road. They weren't worse. Now they're one of the worst defenses statistically in the league. But Dallas's defense statistically were always about middle of the road during the Romo years and now during the Prescott years at worst. And they've had some pretty good defenses. Yeah. Well, so does the offense. You can't forget that you have to hand the ball to the ref before it goes down to hike the ball. Like that's Dak Prescott forgetting shit. But I can't knock it though because the 49ers players forgot the rules of overtime. So what can I say? I guess we all have gaps, right? All right. So we'll go from there over to, unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who happen to get the win today to secure themselves as the number 1 seed or as the top team in the AFC North over Baltimore, who had recently had a surge. Both teams were 6-6. Aaron Rodgers caught the 4th pass he's ever thrown to himself. It was one of the most hilarious plays I've ever seen. Because, like, literally, the only reason why it was considered a pass and not an interception is because Rodgers had hold of the ball underneath 2 Baltimore defenders who were trying to grab the ball, and his knees were on the ground, and it looked like he had control of the ball. So they were like, well, he's down at that point by contact. And they're like, it's just a complete pass to himself for -1 yard. I was like, that's so damn retarded. I was like, that is just. Thank you, NFL. Thank you. Every week I ask myself, can the NFL get any more sideways? And I say no until something like that happens. Then I see something like that. I'm like, yeah.
Every week it's about jumping the shark.
As high as you can get, higher and higher.
Yep. How crazy can we get this?
Here's the question I pose to you two. Does Tomlin have enough to put together another? No, I'm not going to say a Super Bowl run. I'm worried about is he going to be able to get this squad to the playoffs? Because they're 7-6 right now, and it's not like they have an easy road. You know, even the Cleveland Browns can beat one of the teams from the AFC North on a given day, even though they got their butt stomped by the Tennessee Titans today. Does he have enough with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, et cetera, to get this team to the playoffs? O'Malley, kick us off.
I mean, to get them to the playoffs, maybe. Doubtful, but I don't. I mean, I haven't been impressed of what I've seen so far. So, and yes, there is some time left to go, but that's also that extra time to really fully shit the bed. Right now, it's partially shitting the bed. You know, it's one could say, well, there's time left that they can come back and they can finish strong. But yeah, there's also time left enough to like really seal the deal and not do a whole lot.
Division is super close. So one fumble, and next thing they know, shit, Cincinnati almost beat Buffalo today.
Well, and I mean,
Seemed
if
like they
I'm being
should've.
honest, I don't want to see them do shit. So, I mean, that's probably coming from a maybe a little bit of a biased point of view right there. But I honestly, at this point, don't want to see Aaron Rodgers on. I don't want to see a team that Aaron Rodgers is on do anything at this point. I want to see them suck for the rest of eternity until he is no longer playing football, because I am sick of hearing about Aaron Rodgers.
Hopefully he'll be retiring after this year. We'll see.
God, I don't think he's going to retire of his own volition.
He's going to get knocked into retirement by some
I
young linebacker.
I don't think his ego will let him retire of his own volition. He's chasing something now that he's not going to get again.
Chasing that Super Bowl, bro.
Yep.
He won what? One?
This was one.
Yeah, but it's better to have won that one, right, and leave it at that than to what you're turning your legacy into now. Because you're a fucking joke.
Like, not to offend those people who say, "How dare you mention pro wrestling during a sports show?" But one of the greats in the world of pro wrestling, John Cena, is retired. And his quote again. No, this is the first time he's ever retired.
I thought he had retired before.
No, he basically kind of left for Hollywood. Like, he didn't retire, but he just he stopped showing up every week. But this whole year has been his retirement tour. His last match will be next week. But he said that the reason why he chose now to retire is because he just doesn't feel like he can give the same performances that he gave in the past.
And that's valid.
Have you seen that man walking? It's a tragedy. His back is jacked. He needs to stop.
Yeah, and
I give him a lot of respect for that, because please just recognize that you're human and allow yourself to be human and just be like, it was great until it wasn't.
Yeah, and being aware of that. Like, I hate to say it, I love Joe Montana. I think he stayed a year or two too long.
Steve Young even stayed too long with all the concussions, to be quite honest, because that was before, like, he would have been gone well before he was this day and age with all them concussions.
Can we truly say that when guys like Tua exist out there? Hasn't Tua had a concussion for every month of the year? And they still put him out there.
But that's because they still have him on the team. Trying to trade that, trying to get a new contract elsewhere, a big contract, especially in that position, when you're going to be harder to insure. Right. You've got all of these things, and I guarantee that some of what Tua is doing is against medical advice. Because he should not. I'm sorry. Retire. Okay? You don't have an O-line. Fucking just retire. You're going to end up with your brain mush. You're going to
be walking around talking about, who are you?
Yeah.
Right.
And if you've already got kids, or if you want to have a family, be around to be there for your kid. There's no reason, especially stop putting your body on the line for a team like Miami.
No shit.
And we mean the professional team, not the college. The college is doing pretty good.
We're gonna get to that a little bit later too, about whatchamacallit. I don't know if y'all overheard, but I think it's Swab, wasn't you just mentioning it, that Notre Dame said they won't even accept the bowl if it's given to them, since they didn't make the playoff?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Ass down.
Bye.
Bye, cat. Anyway, sorry. My cat decided it wanted some attention, and I had to tell it not. But all right. So we'll move from there to what was considered kind of the main event of the day. What are you back there doing? No, you can't get in my lap. Leave me alone. Anyway, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. They played for basically first place in the AFC or in the NFC North. And the Bears fell from the number 1 seed all the way down to the number 7 seed, I believe, because they said the loser of that game, San Francisco, would leapfrog them into the 6th seed. So the Bears are going to be going. They fell to the 7th seed. The Packers took over the 2 seed and is behind the Rams right now. Like, see, this is where for me, the whole division leader, that whole part of it has to go away. The division leaders getting the first 4 things, because right now the Rams are the number 1 seed. But Seattle, who has the exact identical record to the Rams, is the 5 seed. What? Is the 5 seed. Sorry about that. So, like, Seattle should be the 2 seed. Like, yeah, do it like college football does now. Regardless of do it by record. Basketball does it like that. Like, come on. What are we going to say, Melanie?
He says no. Swab says no. I say yes. Swab says no. He's over there emphatically shaking his head like no. But I agree. This also reminds me of back when we were seeing like freaking losing teams literally getting into the playoffs because they had the better of the losing records. Like, that just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, but you know, I'm very interested to hear Swab's pro what it already is right now and anti-fairness.
So really, it comes down to the divisions. Unless they do away with the divisions, which will negate a lot of the rivalry games that exist now between the division teams. You wouldn't play each team twice anymore. Unless they do away with divisions, then yeah, I'm all for the top 6 seeds, and then the top 2, whatever the records, then there are no divisions to worry about. But right now, each division leader, even if they do often sometimes rarely have a losing record and get into the playoffs and get that first home game, they don't get the bye, but at least they get the home game. With divisions, if they're not going to do away with the divisions, I don't see how you can have a Seattle beat out a team as the 2nd place in their division, beat out another team that actually won their division, regardless of record, that is worse than Seattle's. I think that it's difficult. I mean, you never know how a season's going to play out. And just looking at, say, Pittsburgh and the Ravens, those teams, I mean, Ravens looked like a for sure playoff team, or at least getting to the playoffs. And then you've got Pittsburgh, who typically makes the playoffs at minimum under Tomlin. So there was no way to know that they were going to both be at 500 at this point in the season, battling to be 1 game over and 1 game under 500. So you never know how the seasons are going to necessarily play out. I'm for what you guys are advocating for, but to do so, you would lose a lot of divisional rivalry games that we've grown accustomed to.
Okay. Here's where I disagree. Basketball didn't get rid of divisions at all. Basketball playoffs are seeded by record, not by division winners, not by division. It's all by your record. And yet they still have divisions. They just don't acknowledge division winners. Because here's the deal. The division title was always a participation trophy, so to speak. I get it. Some divisions are tough, and it's going to take a lot to win them. But the goal is to get into the playoffs. So the goal is to have a good enough record to get into the playoffs. And I agree that it would eliminate, one of the positives is it would eliminate a 7-9 team making the playoffs, a la Seattle, from that 1 year when they were 7-9 and won the NFC West. Even though they did upset New Orleans and that made for great football, it would definitely prevent that. But I'm saying, I think if the league itself just kind of goes, okay, division titles are just division titles. Like, they don't lock you into, they still get you a home game, because if your record is good enough to win your division, your record should be one of the top 4 records in the league. But if it's not, in the rare instance that it's not, kind of like it is right now with Seattle and LA having basically tied for the best record in the division, not in all of football, that would be between ironically, the Denver Broncos and the fucking New England Patriots at 11-2. Who the hell saw that coming? But you got 2 10-3 teams sitting on top. I would rather see them as the 1-2 than the 1-5. Like I think it kind of demeans.
Could be made that strength of schedule, how things kind of play out. The two teams. I mean, it's just hard because of what we're used to in terms of the division winner always getting a home game, and now division winners might not get a home game, which is really what they've been battling for decades and decades since they did all the realignment from back in the day. So I mean, I understand the sentiment, and I'm about it. You would just have to essentially negate the division title deal that the NFL has compared to everybody else, where they're guaranteed a home game.
The NBA used to have that. Like that's why your top 4 seeds before they went to the thing with the play-in and all that, they was the top 4 seeds were your 4 division winners, and then your 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th were your next best records. But I want to say it's been at least 10 years now since they've done away with the division format as far as the playoffs go, and it's just straight seeding 1 through 8, the 8 best records in basketball, or actually, sorry, the 10 best records in basketball. Which to me, look, I'm gonna say it like this: it's kind of like my same theory, and you guys can tell me what you think. That goes along with the NCAA basketball thing. Fuck it. If you're gonna have 10 teams that make it sort of just have everybody in the conference make the playoffs. 1 plays the 16, 2 plays the 15, just like they do in college basketball. Everybody makes playoffs. Everybody's got a shot at the NBA title. Some 20-win team will come out of nowhere and win 16 games in the playoffs or 20 games in the playoffs and win an NBA title. Let's do it. You're gonna dig it. Let's dig all of it. Because this leaving 2 or 3 teams out every year, just 2 or 3, not half of the conference. 2 or 3 teams out of each conference get left out every year, and that just seems wrong to me. You might as well just let them in too and let everybody make it a battle royale. Well, what do you think about that, O'Malley?
I'm just over here laughing in my head this whole time because my brain went totally left. I'm over here giggling at a Pac-2 championship.
What is it, Oregon State and Washington State?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh man.
Talking about divisions and championships and titles and fucking just go to the Pac-2 and you've got a 50-50 chance.
The Pac-2 next year is adding the Golden State Warriors, the San Francisco 49ers.
Hey, I remember when that league, we thought we were getting Texas and Texas Tech, and it looked like everything was going to be roses. It looked like we were going to be a Power 5 conference, get into that group. And then next thing you know, I mean, the Pac-2, I ought to make a T-shirt. That's amazing.
All right. So we got 2 more games to talk about here. First up on the docket is what in the I've seen video games go make swings like they did in this game, but I've never seen real games do this. Not back since the Houston Oilers came back on the Buffalo Bills, or was it the vice versa?
No, Oilers beat the Bills.
Oh, Oilers beat the Bills in that 30-point comeback. Yeah. Like, what in the world? Cincinnati looked like they had this game in hand. And then the Bills said, no, thank you. We'll take our victory.
Combination of 2 things. Joe Burrow made some mistakes, some not really of his own volition, but he made mistakes. And the Cincinnati's defense is still a year or 2 away from being truly competitive to help him get back to Super Bowl status or worthiness.
And that's only if they can manage to keep Trey Henderson.
They got a lot more than just him.
Yeah. Just so you understand what Swab was talking about out there, in the 3rd quarter, they had a handy 28-11 lead, or 28-18, or 21-18.
21-11. It was 21-11 at one point.
21-11. Then the Bills made it 21-18, and then on 2 consecutive plays, it was 2 of the craziest football plays I've ever seen in my life. Joe Burrow threw a ball, it was swatted up by a defensive lineman and caught by a linebacker for an interception. And then the next play, I forget he got popped up again and picked up. Oh, no, that was the one that was truly weird because Joe Burrow saw a Buffalo defender directly in front of his face, tried to throw it over him to his like tight end or somebody behind him, and dude just reached up and said nope and took it and went for the pick six on back-to-back series, like back-to-back plays. And it was just insane with the Buffalo Bills today, but they may be that team of destiny. Or here's the question: after today's game, would you believe that Buffalo is the one that will be the next Kansas City, or do New England or Denver have a better shot? They're leading the conference right now. They're the number 1 and 2 seeds.
I'll say it like this. New England reminds me of Jacksonville. They're having an upswing right now, but reality will come back to them next year. I don't see them sustaining the level of success and close victories that they've had this year going into next year, although it does boost and build confidence for that franchise. Denver is in the same boat. They're in a tougher division per se than New England still. I don't see them necessarily holding on to this momentum. The Bills, I believe the Bills are due for a one-shot title, a la Aaron Rodgers and Favre, like we were talking about. It's going to come together on defense. Josh Allen is a top 5, top 3 quarterback, depending on the week. He rarely seems to have bad games per se, but there are times where he has clear issues. I think they can get one down. I don't see the consistency of what Kansas City has been able to accomplish the last 4 or 5 seasons for the Bills, New England, or Denver. And out of those 3, Buffalo has the better shot to do it. I just don't see it.
Okay. O'Malley, any thoughts?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. I'll say it like this. I don't know. The only part that I don't know if I agree with you on, and trust me, I don't want to see this just as much as nobody says other people don't want to see it. I think New England is a lot more legit than what people give them credit for. I genuinely do. And I'm not saying
admit that. There is
and
no
I understand
part of me that will ever admit that. I don't care whether or not I like or dislike or hate the Raiders anymore. There is no part of me that will ever acknowledge that or utter those words out of my mouth. No. My coworker, huge New England fan, adore her, but nope, you'll never hear me even. That's nope, not going to happen.
Dang. What about if they win the Super Bowl this year?
I don't see it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
So then let's say if they win the Super Bowl this year, we'll say they're legit.
I would say that they're
Are you that
legit,
sure of
that
it?
they did a one shot. I still wouldn't see the same success. And I would say it like this. I like Mike Vrabel as a head coach, but I don't think that he can finesse the salary cap like Belichick did. There's a huge difference in those first handful of Super Bowls that they went to, or the first 3 Super Bowls they went to. They had a pretty stacked team, but as soon as players started needing to get paid, he had to shave certain pieces off or allow them to retire. And then things, they became kind of up and down. Win one, lose next 3, win another, kind of that kind of deal. I don't, Drake May's going to be paid like a top 5 quarterback when his deal is up, regardless of whether he's playing well or not.
But let me just state this. That's the thing that I say. I don't see this team going. Nobody, let me put it to you like this. We're not going to see another team, I believe, in our lifetime go on a run like what the Patriots did.
We're watching Kansas City, though.
Kansas City's run is just about over, bro. Like, they're not going back. They might not even they might not make the playoffs this year, and that will end that run. And if they go back to the playoffs,
it happened to New England, too. There was years they didn't make the playoffs. It was due to injuries.
1 year out of 23. Like
still, it happened.
Bro, I'll put it to you like this. If Kansas City falls off this year, they ain't coming back to what they've been the last 5 years. Even with Patrick Mahomes, they ain't coming back to what they've been the last 5 years. Like, I'm sorry. They will swing for 2 reasons. First and foremost, their key players are getting older, as all teams in that manner do. But also the other teams around them, a la Denver, New England, are getting better. They're young and they're getting better. So they're only going to continue to get better. And Kansas City is only going to continue to cap out at wherever it caps out. I don't see Kansas City going on another run of going to 5 Super Bowls. Like, I don't even see them making 5 AFC championship games out of the next 10 years. I will say that. Now, if they may, I'll eat my shoe. Not really, but I'll eat my shoe if they make the AFC championship game this year. Because at this point, I don't
Why
even
do
know
you
if they're gonna
hate
make
your
the play.
shoes so much?
Oh man, but needless to say, like Kansas City, but I see New England. I agree with you. Like, they do remind me of early New England in the sense of that they have a lot of young players that they're not having to pay that much right now, and those players are still on rookie contracts for another 2-3 years. So if they can get, you're right, if they can get that consistency of play out of those key young players like they have been this year, I can see them squeezing 1 Super Bowl out of the next 3-4 years. Now, I'm not talking about a dynastic run like what the Patriots went on, where they won 5 and 9 years or so. No, nobody's doing that again. Like nobody's doing that. Kansas City came closest. They won 3 and 5. 3 and 5. They came that close. Good for them, but we're not going to see another
Kermit
Patriot.
cut his hair, and it's all down.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that I disagree with. I think Kansas City still has 7-8 years of Patrick Mahomes play. Lord willing for his fans. I know that you never know, injuries could happen or whatnot. But as long as you have a quarterback like Mahomes,
Maybe if he grows back his hair.
Stuck on that.
I mean, he's gonna have up and down. I agree. The Denvers and all that, and the Chargers. You never know which one of them is gonna pop up and knock them off. But remember, New England didn't necessarily win it every year, and although they had a much weaker division that they played in at the time during that run, I think that they're, depending on Andy Reid, I would say is really the linchpin for that team. If he stays the next 7 years, I could see them getting another title or 2 out of that by replacing key players like Chris Jones, and they've already worked at replacing Cheetah. They're gonna have to find a new Travis Kelce, somebody that's a reliable target in the Kelce
They have
role.
that
So I
Noah
mean,
Gray.
not
They have that Noah
impossible.
Gray.
Just
Yeah.
I think that they have a couple key guys they could get and or not get, but groom. I do like Xavier Worthy and things like that. So I would never say it's not possible. I would see Kansas City continuing their run versus the Bills, New England, or Denver getting a run.
Bro, let me break it down for you. Kansas City's decline started 2 years ago in the Super Bowl when they almost lost to the Eagles and they ended up beating them. And then last year they lost to the Eagles, and they didn't just lose to the Eagles; they got spanked by the Eagles. Now they're
Eagles might
sitting
be due for that run.
Hold on, they're sitting at 6-6 and are down 10-0 to the Texans, bro. To the Texans. I'm not saying the Texans aren't a good squad. They got some rebuilding to do. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think this 1 year fall off is just a 1 year fall off. And mind you, they're doing that. They're doing this 6-6, potentially 6-7 with a healthy Patrick Mahomes behind center. So
I mean, the difference
it's
comes
not
down
like
the difference comes last year. They won a lot of their one-score games, which was a huge difference. This year, they're not winning all those games, and it didn't really come down
now they're
necessarily to
losing to
penalties.
teams like the Dallas Cowboys.
Heck, look at Pittsburgh and Baltimore. So I mean, they're still in striking distance, and until the king is dead, in my instance, unless Andy Reid or Mahomes kicks the bucket, Kansas City's got a shot. I don't know how you bet.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they don't have a shot, but they have the same shot that the Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, and Tennessee Titans have. But
I wouldn't say the Titans.
Nah, I agree with you. Having Mahomes always gives you a shot at the playoffs, and if you can get into the playoffs, you just need your defense to play well for 4 games, and you can win yourself a Super Bowl. But my biggest thing is the same thing that happened to the Warriors, like 2019, 2020. Well, I'll say 2021 and beyond. The road got a lot tougher for them to an NBA Finals because not because they got worse, but because the NBA and Western Conference got really good right around them. So
well, yeah, because when you were talking about, New England in the East back then was much easier for New England, for the Patriots then.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of like LeBron in Cleveland going through the East to get to the finals, because everything leads back to fuck LeBron in the end. But that's exactly it. That does make a difference. Like, and you see where certain people and teams are struggling in certain areas. So,
Except for my boys who moved up a seed during their bye week with the Green Bay win over Chicago. Moved Chicago down to the 7th seed. Niners.
well, I guess that's better than dropping in your bye week, because that's kind of like getting fired on your day off, right? Like,
Pretty much.
how do you get fucking fired on your day off? Well, ask Dennis Allen.
Yeah. I hoped that Arizona or Atlanta could pull off the upset, but unfortunately, neither one of them could, and both got blown. So the Rams and Seahawks still sit. But the Niners at least have the Seahawks, the final game of the season. We'll see what happens with that. And Kyle Shanahan for head coach of the year. 90-something injuries and got that team at 9-4. Let's do it. Hey, he at least deserves the consideration. Yeah. When you have your players miss more days in a single season than most.
Yes, but that's not the coach. That's a miracle. That is not the coach. That's your record is that despite everything that is going on.
Hey,
there's a guardian angel in the corner somewhere, drunk off their ass, going, "Give me a fucking break." Right now.
For a 5-game stretch, that man had Mac Jones looking like a prime Brett Favre out there flinging the football. So I got to give him credit for something.
Was a top 10 picked quarterback.
Yeah, who fell off and then had to come back as a backup quarterback. And even though it does make me dream of what would have happened had they taken Mac Jones over Trey Lance back in the day and just stayed at number 12, how different the team could have
what
been.
we thought was going to happen.
Yeah. So, but anyway. All right, so that'll kill us for football for this week.
Anyways, and still spend all them picks and all that shit, and to end up in the same damn place you would have been regardless.
All I know is all praise to Mac, because without him, we'd probably be, if we had anybody else at that backup position, we'd probably be like a 3-win team right now, be competing for a top 5
for
pick
sure,
instead of a playoff spot. So I think he was 5-1 as a starter. So yeah. I have nothing negative to say about the man other than get us some traffic. Let us play well enough that we can trade you this offseason and get back some of them first and get back some of them draft picks. No, he was on a 2. He was on a 2-year deal.
Fucking go out there and kill it so we can trade you.
So we can trade you. We need some of them draft picks back.
I don't think the Niners trade him. Even though he has good capital right now, and he's
not the way your quarterbacks tend to go down throughout the season. You'd be dumb.
Yep.
Keep it.
They're in a position they can't do it unless he thinks he can get somebody else to replicate what Mac Jones did. I think they're stuck with keeping him.
I think Brock Purdy is proof that it doesn't matter how good your backup quarterback is. When the dominoes start to fall, them up and start falling like water. Because that one year it was Trey Lance, and it was Jimmy Garoppolo, then it was Josh Johnson, then it was Brock Purdy. It was just like I know it can't be our line.
Where was the water boy in all of that?
Oh man. All right. So we'll close football there. We'll come back and talk some NBA, get an update on the NBA Cup. And also on the second half of the show, we'll be talking some college football playoff as they announced the rankings today. And me and Swab were talking earlier about a new twist to the college football rankings with the whole the division or the conference winners don't matter anymore as far as the top 4 seeds. It's the top 4 seeds, the top 4 best teams in the thing. And what do we end up with our first year? 2 Big Ten teams at number 1 and number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana.
We'll get into that after the break. What's up?
Indiana.
Yeah, we'll get to talking about that right after the break. Y'all enjoy. We'll be back. the classroom.
We back at it. Yep, we still doing it. Poetic beat. First GenXers. Gia. Let's get it, y'all. Come on. We back in the building. It's been a long time cooking in the soup kitchen. And I'm chilling with the same. Dropping these beats won't stop, nope, I can't. Let me get up in the lab, turn it up. Game on with the first GenXers. What's up? Let's flip on the switch or the Xbox and get up in my zone. I'm clowning. Let me clear my throat for a minute. Shout out to my folks while I'm in it. It ain't nothing but love, it's babe business. I really don't know what's so who ain't feeling this. And this is only the beginning. Now versus then, this is something for the chillin'. Poetic got the joints like McDonald's. I'm loving it. It's the first gen. We're now rocking with Poetic Beats. This is the first GenXers production. Get your PlayStations out. Get your Xbox out. Get your Switch out. Let's get it in, y'all. Holla back.
You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me. I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep it.
All right, and we are back. Y'all enjoyed that little block reminding you of what we do here at the First GenXers Broadcast Network. Music shows to this show to pop culture, we cover it all. So stick with us here on Twitch, YouTube, or YouTube, First GenXers or WKKW Network. All right, so let's get back to this talkity talk. Let's see. All right, we're NBA Week 7. This week really didn't turn in a lot. Last night, we had the Warriors pick up a gritty win against the Cavs. Was Steph out for that game? I can't remember.
I think all the starters are sitting.
Yeah, they were all out.
So it was led by Pat Spencer.
No. Pat motherfucking Spencer.
I've liked that guy. He reminds me of like Leandro Barbosa. You know what I'm saying? Like Barbosa wasn't a big name. Like he wasn't a big name signing, but he was critical to that Warriors run in 2014, 15. He gave good minutes off the bench, was really a motivator for the squad. And I think that although Pat Spencer is not necessarily a veteran, I think he brings a lot of energy to the table. And I think what he brings helps motivate the team to continue to play better, especially the backups. Now, I had heard that the Warriors were supposed to be signing Seth Curry on Monday. Did he play last night?
I'm not sure about last night, but he didn't play today against Chicago.
Okay.
But he's on the squad.
But he's on the squad. All right. Well, we also know that this week is going to line up starting on the 9th and 10th, which is 2 days from now. The NBA Emirates Cup, the final rounds. So we know pretty much who the 8 cats are. 8 teams are. It's going to be out of the East, the Miami Heat, and let's see. It's going to be the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic, the New York Knicks, and the Toronto Raptors. For us older people that they don't have can't see them eyes there. New York Knicks for Toronto Raptors. That's going to be on the 9th. Out of the West, it's going to be the Phoenix Suns and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Lakers. I still think out of the West it's going to end up being Oklahoma City and LA, but we shall see because the Spurs ain't no joke. Out of that field, give me one team. We'll start with you, O'Malley, that you think could win this all, even though it doesn't really matter.
One team that could win it all?
Yeah, you need to see the brackets again?
Yeah, because I don't even have my glasses on, so that's just great.
There you go. Got the Miami Heat, or Orlando Magic, Knicks and Raptors, Suns and Thunder, Kevin Durant and the Suns and Thunder, and Wemby and the Spurs and the Lakers.
Okay, so I think it's going to be Oklahoma. But if it wasn't Oklahoma, I would say hopefully the Spurs, anyone but the Lakers, and kind of out on the Suns just because of KD and all of that too. But also this is still just the midseason tournament, and who really fucking cares?
Suave,
not that I don't care. It's my job to care. I care, but like in the grand scheme of things, like.
Yeah. It's really inconsequential. I don't even remember who won it last year. I remember the Bucks won one of the last couple of years, and the Lakers won the first.
I'm going to tell you like this. This is one of the worst things the NBA has ever done. I can't wait for this shit to be over, because if I see another fucking team raise one of those stupid ass banners for this fucking bullshit ass halfway through the season bullshit cup, I'm sorry, they ought to burn those damn things. That's the weakest garbage I've ever seen in my life. But having said that, I don't see anybody that can beat the Thunder as long as they're healthy. They're playing the best basketball out of anybody in the league. And if I had to pick a number 2, I'd rather the Spurs do it, even though I can't stand that they got another number 1 pick generational talent in frickin' Wemby, when honestly they already got one. They didn't deserve another one.
No shit. Well, if you suck bad enough, you kind of do.
No, because they weren't the worst team in the league when they got Wemby, just like they weren't when they got Duncan.
True. For me, I'm going to say this. I agree with you guys. I'm right there with you with the Thunder. I don't see anybody beating the Thunder. We're going to talk a little bit about the Thunder's fucking run to the season, which is only comparable to the Warriors' run when they lost like 3 games in the first half of the season with Luke Walton as their quarterback, or as they coach. Yep. But if I had to pick a number 2, I'll be honest with you. I'd like to see the Orlando Magic. They're young. They're up and coming. They just signed Desmond Bane, I believe, last year from the Memphis Grizzlies to add some defensive grit to them. And they got Paolo Banchero over there. Really like that guy. So if it had to be anybody other than the Thunder, I would love to see it be another young team.
You know, as Orlando, I like what they've got building over there.
Yeah.
I like Wagner. I like Banchero. I like them bringing Bane over from Memphis in that trade. So, I mean, I like Orlando. I got a soft spot for them because, honestly, they got screwed out of all the Shaq Laker years when Shaq should have stayed his ass in Orlando. Maybe Anthony doesn't get hurt. Dennis Scott, you know, they had a hell of a team back then. It would have been nice to see what Orlando would have done had Shaquille not bolted to the Lakers.
Right. Exactly. See how long they could have ran the East. That would have definitely been a formidable team, especially with him and Penny Hardaway. Man, come on.
Yeah.
All right. Now, here's what's funny to me, though. How are the Detroit Pistons the number 1 seed? How are the Detroit Pistons 19-5 and coming off a 13-game winning streak? But I guess they lost they didn't do well in the Emirates Cup.
The games they lost knocked them out of it.
Wow, that's insane. 19-5 and sitting on the outside looking in. It should be coming down. We should be getting an NBA Finals preview in Detroit versus Oklahoma. But instead, we'll have to settle for whatever comes out of it.
Yeah, the cup is trash anyway.
Swab, I do have one way that they could rehabilitate this midseason tournament. Again, abolish the All-Star game. Nobody really cares. Doesn't matter if it's USA versus the world, whatever. Nobody really cares. Abolish the All-Star game. Make the NBA Cup tournament a worldwide tournament. Bring in teams from other leagues. Bring in teams from around the world.
I don't think they can do that during the season and risk teams getting their best players hurt when they haven't even won the title or fought for the title. They could. I just don't think teams will be too juiced to lose a player to injury versus Brazil or Argentina and then not be able to compete for a title.
Well, make it some of the, like use the Olympics as a barometer, make it an extra couple of games that teams from the Olympics can play. And you have the top 8 teams, the top 8 best records, screw the round robin stage. Or you can do the round robin stage, but you have the top 8 best squads in the NBA take on 8 of the best squads from around the world.
Honestly, I like that for the actual Olympics. The team that wins the title that year should be the team that represents us that year in the Summer Olympics for the title. Don't put the all-star team together. Let the team that won the chip go out there and win us the damn gold. I think that would be pretty slick.
I think that would be too. Any thoughts on that, O'Malley?
No, I think that would be a much better approach.
Yeah, to make it the whatchamacallit, or
right
like
now it's trash.
Do the Olympics.
Yeah, it's trash right now, honestly. I mean, it's the way that it's done too. It's so. What games constitute those games? What games don't constitute those games? And it's like, a couple over here, but then some random couple over here, and what the fuck is that actually?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
All they do is change the court. Oh, they're playing on a different court. Oh, they're playing cup games. They're playing what games?
Yeah.
All right, so now let's jump on over to OKC. And I had said we were going to talk about them right quick and their historic start to the season. Like I said, at this point, OKC is 22-1. The last team that we saw with even a similar record, I don't remember if the Warriors hit 22-1. I just remember they were like 40-something-3 at the All-Star break.
We almost broke we broke the Lakers record for seasons without a loss for games without. If I'm not mistaken, we're either
we didn't break the win streak. We didn't break the 33 game. We won like
Okay.
20 something, then we lost a game or two, or then we lost 1 or 2 games, and then we won. I know that the Warriors got to 20-1 because that's the record that Oklahoma City just broke. Is the Warriors
Okay.
record from the 73-9 year. So
I was before they started off super hot because that's when what's his name was subbing as the coach for us.
Walton.
Yeah, his son, Walton's kid.
So, any
Didn't
thoughts
he
on
go
Oklahoma?
work? Didn't he go to work for the Lakers and things didn't end up very well? No, to the
Oh,
Lakers
no.
and then the Kings.
The Kings, where he got in
It was
trouble with
when-
that reporter in his
Yes.
hotel room because I guess he ain't too smart.
Hold on.
Mm,
Yeah, couldn't keep it in his pants, more like it.
yeah.
Damn shame.
Sorry about that.
Stupid.
I heard somebody knocking. Oh, we was gonna get a scene from a movie here. Anyway, no. But yeah, nah. Like, and I think I'll be honest with you. I think talent-wise, this team is as good as that 73-9 team was. They have talent 1 through 5, and they have talent 6, 7, 8, 9 down on the bench. Like,
And they got more coming in because they might end up, they've got so much draft capital still from all the moves that they made. I mean, Oklahoma City is the real deal. They can augment without going to free agency. They can legit bundle picks together to get the exact player they want out of any of the next couple of drafts. So, I mean, I knew that this was the type of run they were going to have because I was saying it when their season ended, that it really felt like if Hallie hadn't gotten hurt, Indiana could have had a chance to beat them. They took that as disrespect, just like the Warriors did when Kyrie and Love were hurt and they got their first chip, and they just ripped everybody's ass the next year, showing them, hey, we was going to win that shit regardless. This is OKC's turn.
I can see that. I can see this being a dynasty because you have somebody, like I said last week, you have somebody like Sam Presti holding the checkbook, and he's willing to spend what it takes.
Only thing stopping them, like stopped us, is injuries. That's it.
But let's see. All right, so that was them. Now let's go on ahead and get to, because we're close to time here, but we can go a little over. I want to say the college football playoff. Now today was announced the college football playoff and what teams were going to go be each one of the.
I know what team's not going.
Yeah, a team.
Cry babies.
Let's talk first about that, in the fact that Notre Dame is crying us a river because they did not make the college football playoff. According to trustmebro.com, they're going to skip the. It's been heard that they're talking about that they're going to even skip a bowl game, even if they're offered.
Bye.
So about not making the playoffs. So we see O'Malley's thoughts on it.
Bye. What terrible fucking sportsmanship, honestly. But fucking crybabies. Just, you had an opportunity and you fucking blew it.
I mean, they are the defending runners up from last year. You would have expected them to, maybe squeak in, but they obviously didn't do enough on their end of the table and left it up to the voters.
They're not the defending winners; they're defending runners up. That's what.
It's still, they were the second best team out of all of college football. They can hang their hat on that a little bit.
Who did they lose to?
Ohio State in the bowl.
The Ohio State.
Well,
the team that lost yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can respect Notre Dame's stance. I will say I'm a little disappointed for some of their seniors because typically you get, awards or whatnot when you win your bowl game, and it would be nice for those seniors to be able to win a bowl game and go out with it, even though it's not in the college football playoffs. A bowl game is still a bowl game.
And it's still another opportunity to get looked at by scouts for your players that are going into the draft or could be drafted.
Yeah.
It's a poor sportsmanship, crybaby, passive aggressive. I'm going to pout and take my bat and ball and go home. Bye.
We'll play without you.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, 100%. But let's take a
You
look
and
at the
LeBron
teams
can
that.
go fucking cry together.
Oh, I love that. Anyway, all right. So let's look at this here and see what we've got as far as the brackets for the team that did make the college football.
Well, I do know that USC has the number 1 2026 recruiting class, so
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
be
looking pretty next year, huh?
yeah.
Hey,
I think we'll
I can't
start
lie.
the season better than what we came in this year.
I'm a proud Golden Bear fan this year with them going 7-5. Like, but
Hey, I was
Swab,
for
happy. I was
Indiana with our
happy
guy
last
Mendoza.
weekend. I had the Cal game on the big TV, the USC UCLA game on my laptop because the stupid hotel doesn't get local channels. They only get fucking like the Discovery and ESPN and all of those fucking weird Dish Network channels. Yeah, so fucking Cal was on the big screen and USC's on the little screen. That seemed something wrong with that, but at least I got to watch both games at the same time.
who did they beat? I forget who they beat last week.
They beat the one that they beat them out of
SMU.
being able to go to their
Conference
division
championship.
their conference championship. Yeah.
Yeah. They was SMU. SMU with the win would have
Yes,
been in, and because they lost to Cal. Look at Cal over there playing spoiler. They ain't winning no national titles or conference titles, but they over there playing spoiler.
Hey, if you can't
yeah.
if you can't win the whole thing, at least freaking beat a couple of teams out of it.
So the top 4 squads go as this: the Big Ten champion, Indiana Hoosiers. Swab, good call last week on pointing out Indiana and their current run. And the number 2 seed is the Ohio State Buckeyes, the
Bullshit.
Big Ten runner-up, which is kind of new because this year, again, as we talked about earlier with the basketball, college football for the playoffs has gone to a best team scenario instead of ranking them based on winning their conference. And those first 4 bye weeks being reserved for conference winners, it's now by strength of schedule, FPI, and all of that. And you can get what we got this year, which is 2 Big Ten teams as the number 1 and 2 seeds in the college football playoffs. We had Georgia and Tulane, I believe. No, Georgia and Texas Tech round out the top 4. Guys, your thoughts on the selection committee's top 4 teams?
Ohio State should not have gotten a bye week after losing to Indiana. They deserved losing that game. They deserved to have to play in the first round of the damn playoffs. Having them drop 1 spot to 2 is the crazy. I was actually trying to think the last time I can remember, maybe in the Alabama years, but Alabama, it was more so they fell down and had to earn their way back into the top 2 before the season ended to get into the championship game. I do remember a couple of those years, and maybe there was another year where they lost once and got over somebody else that was undefeated. But for them to drop from 1 to 2 after losing that game, especially in the way they lost it, yeah, it was close. But they shouldn't get a first round bye. I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever seen so far during these playoffs.
All right, Nomali, your thoughts on those top 4?
I am so sick of fucking seeing Georgia and Ohio State in the top 4 that, like, it's nice to see a team like Texas Tech. I'm sorry, when's the last time you've been this relevant? Like when Michael Crabtree went there.
Texas Tech, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That sideline catch, I'll never forget that.
And Indiana, it's good to. I like to see them there, but it's. I'm really kind of sick of seeing Ohio State in that top 4, and I'm right there with Suave in feeling that they should not get a bye from this. They should not. They should have had to.
I would have rather seen them fall to a 5 seed, and maybe like in Oklahoma or one of the other ones that actually did win their conference. Because I believe Ole Miss win?
I believe Ole Miss won.
Did they win the conference championship or like a Miami or somebody like that? But
I know
I agree.
Ohio State didn't, and I know somebody else that did is not getting the first round bye, and I just think that's bullshit.
I feel. So the top 12 rounds out like this. You got number 5, Big Ten, Oregon. Number 6 is SEC, Ole Miss. Number 7 was it SEC, Texas A&M? Or yeah, they're SEC. Number 8 is Oklahoma. Number 9 is Alabama. They squeaked in. Number 10 is Miami. 11 is Tulane, the Green Wave. And they're going to face Ole Miss again. Earlier this season, they lost to Ole Miss by 5 touchdowns. So that should be a fun game. And then number 12, James Madison. Guess the game is real, man. Like, just random cats will get in at times.
Never know. Still ought to be 16 teams, but it's okay.
Oh, don't worry. We're expanding to there.
Yeah.
They'll be expanding to 16 and potentially 24. I've always said the magical number to stop with college football was 24.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Because then you get one team that's ranked 25 that's trying to fight to get in that top 24, and the other top 24 at the end of the season battle it out to see.
Yeah, it's hard to make your case when you're sitting on 3, 4, or 5 losses at that 25 spot.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's looking like it's going to be a good. What's that? Sorry.
Where the hell did James Madison come from, though?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can tell you which conference they came.
This is the NIL.
They're 12-1, and they're out of the Sun Belt. They finished first in the Sun Belt.
Getting some love.
No
team from the Pac-2 went? I don't know. I'm calling bullshit.
Let's say their only loss came a couple of weeks ago to Louisville, but they spent their entire season beating up on teams like Georgia State, Georgia Southern, Texas State, Marshall, Appalachian State, Washington State from the Pac-2. And
that doesn't sound like a very strength of schedule to get them ranked that high.
Louisville, and that was it.
Yeah, good for them for making it in. They were able to squeeze in. You got to love the underdog story. It probably ends in the first round, but who knows? You never know. An underdog like that, coming in, maybe ruffle a feather and win a game or two in the college football playoffs. This is why we wanted the playoffs, because a team that like them, and really, not really for this team, but it was really for TCU. All those years that they were so freaking good and never got a chance to play in the playoffs, and then when they did get chances in big bowl games, they got annihilated.
Yeah, but that's also what fucked Cal out of the Rose Bowl one year because of Texas. TCU and that weird off freaking BCS year that, we've got to give you a gimme and here's your participation trophy of the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Texas did it to us too when Mac Brown was sitting there campaigning with his punk ass.
Oh man. All right, so I give me one early favorite. I think I know who both of y'all gonna say, but give me one early favorite.
The hard favorite for me is Indiana because of his Cal roots with Mendoza at quarterback. I'm heavily rooting for Indiana to do something that the university hasn't had a ton of success in football. They've had other successes in different sports, particularly basketball, but for Indiana to have a chance to hoist the title, I mean, there's a lot of firsts. The first time they've beaten Ohio State in like 40 years. We were talking offline. Ohio State was like 80-something, 12-5 against Indiana. They hadn't been beaten since 1988.
Damn.
1988. I was junior high school. I was just like, Jesus. And then the first time they've ever been ranked number 1 to win the game the way that they did was incredible to watch. So for me, they're the heavy, not the favorite. They're heavily who I'm rooting for.
All right, O'Malley, your thoughts?
I want to see Indiana Honestly, I really do. I'm sick of the SEC. I'm sick of freaking Ohio State. Clearly, I'm not going to be rooting for Oregon. But I'd like to see, and I mean, one could even say I should be saying that now of Indiana, but no, like I would like to see Indiana do it. I'd like to. Can we, especially now with the NIL and the transfer portal, can we move out of this like all these what
The
were
SEC, the
originally
ACC,
yeah, Liz, can we just get away from their stranglehold on everything all the way around? Like, and I'm not saying getting rid of conferences or divisions or things like that. That's a little drastic, but the way that we look at them, absolutely. A conference is not a conference now in the way that it's who's picked us up right now and how we're sharing TV rights. Like it's that's what a conference is more about these days than anything else, because clearly the way that the playoffs are set up and the way the NIL and the transfer portal now are working, like the big conference thing isn't as necessary. And you're gonna see more and more of these schools where you're like, hey, where'd they come from? Because it's yes, you're always going to have the big boosters at the certain schools, but some of the NIL is part of it that is evening that field out for schools that don't have the boosters, but they have talent that people want to invest in.
Yes. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Like I said, I'm not saying
And good God, just not Ohio State again. Fuck.
Yeah,
even though I would find it mightily interesting if they did blow up the whole conference structure, split the country immediately in half, and create 2 gigantic conferences with multiple divisions. And basically your division would be based on your geographical area within the state. And so like you would still get Ohio State versus Michigan because they're both like right there in the same geographical area. But then you would get other teams that would never be playing like Michigan or Ohio State playing them because they're in the same division or they're in the same conference. And you split up the country like that. And then you have conference winners. Like you can split it into 4 conferences on each side of the country. So the top 8 all get a bye week. That you bring in, like I said, what would it be, 24 in order to do that? And the other 16 fight it out to see who's going to face those 8. And I think that would give you the division winner or the division winner in each conference plus 2 playoff teams from each division accordingly. Or you could do it by record. Who the other 16, 8 from each conference, who the other 16, and then they don't face each other down to 2 people facing each other. They all go into one big pot. And they all play in a tournament, in a 24-team tournament with the 8 division winners getting the bye weeks beyond the first round and getting into the second round to face whoever wins those first round games.
Yeah, I mean, John Gruden had a little, it was like a 30-minute video essentially talking about the same thing. He was like, what's the point of these conferences? What's the point of the conference title games? You got teams that didn't make their conference title games and they're in the playoffs versus teams that lost the conference title games and they're not. So there's definitely some tweaking to do. There's a lot of big money involved, which is going to be the caveat and what, hurts this from being able to really get pushed forward. All those Power 5 conferences, they want to keep their money to them and don't want to share the wealth per se. So it'd be very interesting to see how it would all unfold. But yeah, I'd be down for that one.
For sure. All right, guys. So that will wrap it up for us for our other sports topics today. Because we all love the college football playoff. So we will be back. Well, me and O'Malley will be back next week. Next week is Suave's week off. So join us.
I'm going to be watching Pac-2 football. Killing me. All right. So for all of you that tapped in, thank you for watching, and check out Now versus Then probably in about a half hour after this show goes off the air. Saint will be back with music and video games for you.
And we will be back next week to talk sports. And I'll be back on Tuesday to play some video games, some college football stuff. All right. So y'all have a great night. I'm Ali Suave. Thank you for joining me as always. It's been a great show. We'll check y'all out next week. Peace.
Bye.